Hey traders, this is Shagun Chart 247, and I train traders how to trade in harmony with the market. So today is Sunday, the 8th of August 2021. We're going to be doing our weekly analysis as we always do. And as you know, we look at the indices before we actually pick the pairs that are going to be buying or selling. And the one we're going to start with today is the US dollar index. Looking at the trend at the weekly chart first, as you can see, from 2015 here, price made a couple of sideways pattern, broke down a little bit before making the last high in 2017, and we saw the move, the beginning of this downtrend that has been very slow in here through the 18 all the way to 2020. And we broke down a little bit without breaking the momentum low, which is wave one of the wave of success on this weekly chart. Dollar has been struggling basically. All the buys is being absorbed around the structures that we have around here. Okay, for the simple outlook, we have the wave of success red. The simple outlook that we have on the dollar is still to the downside, and that takes us to the daily chart where we're going to be making the biggest analysis that we do. Okay, and as you can see, this one here, this is a pretty side, and excuse me, if we go close to the chart, the B3 crosses down, which is very important. Okay, the dynamic trend index crosses down. Okay. And when it crossed down, price made a lower low. This here, if you look here, this is a higher low. This is what we called structure. And we'll put that line there, change date a little bit so that we know what structure it is. So that is the daily structure. Price came down and made a lower low. That is very strong. We have the dynamic buy and sell signal there, which give us a sell signal below a structural point. That is very significant. What that means is the people that are buying from here have been knocked out. So this pullback is an opportunity to sell the US dollar index. Okay, unless price gets back above this high, selling is no longer an option. And this pullback, we should be looking for a stop, pause, and a continuation. So the simple way to approach this is this. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci, and the price has gotten to the 76.4% retracement, which is a good area. That is what we call the deep correction in terms of when we're using the wave of success analysis. Okay, so dollar is very weak, even though we have this big candle on Friday. That is just an opportunity to sell as long as price remain below the 93.19. Okay, so that's the dollar index. Dollar is weak, and we're going to rank this as negative. Okay, DXY is, I'll give it 3 negative actually. So that is the dollar index. The next one we're going to be looking at is the euro index. The weekly chart of the euro. We want to look for momentum and try to trade in the direction of momentum. If you see this move here in 2016 actually came above 1 and 2 structures. Price retraced and gave us a failure to make a lower low. That is significant. Then we started coming back above. This is a mini structure. I don't know why I missed that out. Okay, that's the weekly structure. Let's put a line on it. And price came above this structure and also above the previous 2 structures that has already been broken. That is significant. Now we are settling above this structure of 1714. Price is coming to it. This is a weekly chart and is a long-term chart, but we need to see the evidence before you make a decision. This is still bullish. This pullback is an opportunity for people to actually buy again. So going to the daily chart, This has been discounted very strongly, which is very good. Okay, price has crossed up and price is making a higher low. Okay, so that to us is very simple. As long as price remain above this mini low here, even if it comes below this low, we should still be looking, because this is the major point here. Let's put the, we have to use red line for that, because below there it becomes a little bit bearish. Okay, so we have to watch out for that zone. So euro is still bullish. Okay, even though you've seen all these things, you need to know that price does not travel in a straight line, and a pullback in an uptrend to the downside is an opportunity for people to buy at a cheaper price. If you watch my video on how prices on how price behaves, when price becomes very low, it becomes interesting for people that wants to buy. When price becomes very high, it become interesting for people that are willing to sell. Okay, and people that are selling right now, they will start taking their profit. You can see how long price took here before this mini bust up. Even if you look closely to that chart, this is a mini structure here. It's a lower high that made a lower low. Let's draw that out. I'll change the color to blue, because blue represents structures. I'll make it tiny so that we know that's the daily structure. And for us, the approach here is simple. As long as price remain above here, or even if it breaks below here, another opportunity is price coming back above the 1764. That would be very strong participation to the upside. Okay, you want to trade what you see in terms of what price is doing, but analysis gives you clarity of what you should be expecting. So euro is not negative for us, euro is positive, and this we will give it 2 positive. Okay, that's the euro US dollar. That's the euro index. Okay, that takes us to the pound index, BXY. Pound is very strong. You can see this move here. This was a structure, this was a structure, this was a structure, and price came above 2 structures. As the correction finished, we don't know yet, but that's okay. Price has come down. We have a sell signal here, but we are touching the lips. They're gonna make decision. This is another decision making point, 138.54. Price is sitting on that 138.54. For me, looking at this, if I want to count this wave, this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and wave 4. So this has actually finished its correction to the downside. This is what we have, and that is normal. Okay, this is a mini structure on the daily chart. We came below the structure with a wick, and we went above the structure for 2 consecutive days, trading above couple of daily highs. That for me is significant. On Friday, that is an inside day candle, so you can easily play a breakout with the pound. Once it breaks below this candle, that will be breaking below structure. That will become very weak. But the outlook, look at that. This is a momentum. That's the momentum high. And the rule is momentum precedes prices, and we should still be expecting, if price manage to break above the Friday high on the pound index, we should be expecting more move to the upside. So the ranking of the British pound is 3 positives. Okay. The next one is the Australian dollar basket. Let's look at the weekly chart of the Aussie. Aussie was the winner of the 2020/21. Look at that. Since the beginning of the pandemic, when we had a breakdown, Aussie has been the pair that actually outperformed every other pair. And look at that. This is a structure. This is a structure. And they came above here without any force. You see this structure, how this structure was retested with two times actually, and they moved up again. So this is a normal correction below the previous structure. That makes it a little bit weaker than the other pairs that we've looked at. You see that coming below these structures actually weakens the Aussie, and we've seen 3 weeks we have this breakdown inside. It broke out a little bit. Those 2 weeks are forced breakout, but that should be expected on a structure. Okay, but you can see B3 crossed down and price is still at the higher low. That is bullish. Okay, depending on how they participate with the price in this zone here. If price manage to come out in these coming weeks, then the Aussie becomes very bullish as well. Let's look at the daily chart. That gives us a better understanding of what is going on. So this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and wave 4. Aussie is going on, is going into a consolidation around that structure. That structure 7386 is very strong. I'll be cautious with Aussie. We can see the wave of success red here, which does not mean that price will still continue, because this has given us the first phase of the down cycle, which is 4 waves down, and we are going into correction. We've not seen a major reversal that could signify another sell. So once this, we have to be careful with Aussie neutral. So plus or minus is Aussie. Okay, so that's the ranking. We'll be careful with Aussie, and that's that. The New Zealand actually broke out. I was trading the New Zealand at the beginning of last week. We had a nice break to the upside in the New Zealand, and we can see this one is actually giving us a trend up. Look at that, and I'll explain why that is. This is what we call wave 1 of wave of success, followed by another wave 2. Can we see a failure like M pattern? Yes, we can still see a failure, but what we can see here is this. This is a shallow correction. Look at that. Wave 1. This is a larger wave 1 using the B3. This is a larger wave 1. And we stopped on the structure. Okay, and we are currently above the ellipse as well, which is another bullish signal. We crossed above the 0 line and we made a higher high. So once this correction finishes, your best trade is to buy the New Zealand US dollar, unless price start coming back below the 69.58, which is the weekly structure. Okay, so New Zealand is actually stronger than the Aussie. Normally they move side by side. Where's the New Zealand? Also have XY. So I'll give New Zealand 2 plus, and that takes us to Japanese yen, JXY. Let's look at the weekly chart of the Japanese yen. Wow, look at that. This was going nowhere, so we can play this one easily. This is a consolidation phase all the way from 2016. New Zealand has been breaking higher, breaking lower, breaking higher, pulling back, breaking higher, pulling back, broke higher, and this is a pullback. Price has crossed down, and this is in a higher low. So that is not too bad. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, how can I make sense of what has happened there? This is a momentum low. It's a mini momentum low. We came below it and we are trading above the momentum low. So look at that. S4. This is an inside candle. We broke higher. We came back. We haven't come below it. This is actually interesting. So that's the daily structure, because that's a lower high that made a lower low. But price came above this lower low. We have inside there. We have not come below it. This is a sell. If it comes below that, no, this one here, this blue line is a sell. If price come and close below the Thursday low, that could mean a retest of this structure. But if you fail to do that and start coming back above this, then that is a bullish sign. To be honest, I don't know what to do with this in terms of I have no We want to buy because you can see this is the last structure that made the higher high, and you want to look at what was the last action. Let's see this first. Let's do this. So we are trading at 76.4. Should be. I'll rank this as neutral. We just have to be cautious with the JXY as well. It's not very clear, and if you don't have clarity, you might as well stay aside until you have a better understanding. Canadian dollar. CAD has been fantastic as well. Look at that. But CAD hasn't finished its correction. As you can see, it hasn't finished. This price is coming below multiple. Look at that. That's the current momentum high. We came below this structure. We came below previous momentum high, which was this high here. And we retested it actually. This one hasn't settled down. We can see what is going on. We have green wave of success, which tells us there should be a correction. And this, let me draw a Fibonacci on this swing here. Look at that. There's 37.5 here. There's 50 here. I'll probably, this high, we need to come below this high and a breakout. To be honest, we have seen the correction, but this correction, even though it looks strong, is still a weak correction. So CAD is going to be 2 negatives. That takes us to the Swiss franc. Look at that. ABC 1, 2, 3, and we have a big correction. This one has failed to make a higher high. This is a structure here. This will be a trend changing pattern. We've seen a lot of trend changing pattern and consolidation. Swiss is actually very weak as well. Price closing, the wick closing below the alligator lips. That is bearish, and the Swiss is 3 negatives. Let's look at the daily chart before I actually do that, because we have a better picture. Swiss is, so far, Swiss and dollar is one of the weakest on board. Look at that. You've seen this is a normal correction. Price came down 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at the last day. Excuse me, the 4th day. B3 crossed up, and this is a lower high. This is sell or do nothing. Swiss is one of the weakest. 3 negatives. Okay, and which one haven't we? We haven't done we've done the New Zealand. Okay, so that's basically it. Looking at this gives us the ranking like this. Okay, and I'll quickly type up the ranking and we'll talk about this. So according to our analysis, we have these pairs as buy pairs and these ones as sell pairs. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably do 4 of these pairs, the major ones. Maybe we can do the Euro US dollar, the Euro, the Aussie dollar, New Zealand US dollar, and maybe the dollar yen, just to analyze those. Okay, to save us some time. So let's start with the dollar yen, which is a sell pair. Do I have dollar yen here? So that's the dollar yen. So we don't really want to use the weekly chart on the dollar yen. So this one, I'll change this to the daily chart, and I'll change this to the 4-hour chart. Okay, as you can see, the daily chart in the dollar yen, you see this is very straightforward actually. We've seen wave 1 down and wave 2 down. This is a correction of the wave 3. Okay, so this is a downtrend already, series of lower highs. You can see lower high 1, lower high 2, and lower lows. That is already a downtrend, and this is a correction. You can do this. Easy way to approach this is A, B, C, D, then A, B, C, D. Okay, then A, B, C, expecting D. So price is currently trading in the fib sell zone already. So from highs to low, price has broken above the 76.4. That is super extended, which is fantastic. And this, as long as price did not go above it, even if it goes above here, this here is a structural point. Okay, that is a structure. This one here is a structure, and this is the starting point. All right, and we can see this another structure here. We probably see price come and grab this structure, which is the 110.41, if, and that level has actually been traded. So I'm not expecting that to price to go to that. This is super extended in terms of reversal or correction, if you call it that. Okay, so the simple approach is this. Okay, we can use 4-bar rule for this. This is super far. From the lower time frame, let's go to the 4-hour chart now. You can see already, this is what we're talking about. Look at how clear this is. This is a nice downtrend. Price has retraced nicely. That is an opportunity for you to sell. Okay, and I'm looking at, so this low represents a selling point for us. You can see that failure there, and price will always do the same. Traders will do the same thing over and over again. I don't want that line to be on the, so this little low here, let's change it to a red, and we make this, so that is our sell point. Okay, in the dollar yen, ideally you want to wait for price to settle down, and maybe dollar yen, not maybe too early on Monday to sell this one. Okay, I'm not even sure if it's part of our buy pair or sell pair on Monday. We don't know that yet. But to be honest, price needs to break this structure before I can even consider buying the dollar yen. And when it breaks this structure, it becomes too high. So you will still expect a correction. That is why you must be patient and wait for price to lead you into what you should be doing next. So let's look at the euro US dollar. Our analysis on this one is to be a buyer on the euro. Let's look at the daily chart. So remove drawing. This is very very nice in terms of they pushed it right up to this point, and that is an opportunity to buy. We can see this move here coming above these structures. That is a confirmation of strength, and this correction is actually ideal. That is good because you don't really want to be getting involved when price is too high. But if you have a direction like this and the discounted price below 76.4, that for us is a very good indication that if we buy, if we have a buy signal and we get involved, we should be expecting higher prices. Okay, so the euro, even though this candle is very strong, we have to wait for euro to settle. Okay, maybe a day of nothing happening, then a breakdown to manipulate, then you get involved after manipulation to the upside. This here is where you should be looking to sell the euro. And even when it gets there, it will become too low. So you don't want to be selling at the low. It will still give you correction. So win-win is still, you're going to see a, depending on how patient you are, the best trade for us to take in the euro is still to the upside. This zone here, this is the last low that shows us, and we have this structural break here. So this point is a structure. It has already been broken. 1 pixel. That structure has already been violated. Price has come down to retest the low. Okay, and normally the euro, euro is it's very heavy in terms of the people that are participating in it. So they tend to manipulate euro a lot as well, especially all the majors. So just wait for them to manipulate. If they break a low and they couldn't go and follow through the low. A pullback is an opportunity to buy. That is the way we're going to play the euro as well. Look at that. This does not make any sense. Okay, it does make sense if you look at it from a point of view of manipulation. But look at that. Okay, we went through this one. They gave people false breakout and they came back into that zone again. So uh, wait for the manipulation. Look for maybe W pattern or something like that, and a lower low that failed to continue lower. That will give us an opportunity to get involved in the euro. However, if euro breaks below this 17041, that is bearish. Wait for correction before you get involved in that. So that is the analysis on the euro US dollar. I'll probably do one more, then we call this a day. Let's do the. I actually did the Cardian the other day, so I'm not gonna do that again. Let's look at the New Zealand and pound. Oh, let me do pound dollar. So this is the daily pound. So this is a I, this is a I. We have a major double I here. This is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. And this is giving us correction. The correction of actually the wave 2 was a deeper correction. And price started coming back again, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. That's good. This here is a higher high. B3 crossed up and we have a higher high. So we should be buying this. From this swing down, this is a structure. This is a lower high that made a lower low. And price came above it. So that is a buy signal already. You can approach the pound like this. $37.5 is an area of interest to us. If it comes below there, be patient. Okay, this you have to let price come to you. We've come above the lips. We have a buy signal of the wave of success. This has turned red. That tells us that we should be getting more involved to the upside after the correction. So pound, we don't know where price will end up retracing to, but we have key levels around there. Look at that. That is a structure. This is a structure. This here is a failure point down. So I will note this point to be careful. You don't really want price coming below this price point here. So our area of participation should be 37.5, which is 138.28. That zone there is a strong zone to be looking for move to the upside. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. You can see how clearly this is. Wave 1, wave 2. Pound is still, I expect pound to come down a little bit further. Okay, look at that. If we come to this zone, this area is actually a nice area to be expecting something to happen. Okay, then we can wait for price to go into a sleepy mode, manipulation. Once they break the low after the campaign, then we can look to buy the pound to the upside. You know, definitely buying is the only option for us in this pound. The only time that I'll probably consider selling the pound, because I have a momentum low here and a momentum low here. This momentum low, it traded once. There's not a lot of follow through. This one here gave us a little bit of follow through, and I will actually use this point as a reference point, which is 61.8 of that lows to high. Okay, because that's the momentum low. Momentum low should be sold. That is the rule. Okay, so if price come below the 137.31, I can be interested in selling the pound after the correction to the downside. Okay. I said I will do one more, which is the New Zealand US dollar. This is a pair we trade very often. Remove drawing. So this one is very simple. We have the 4-hour wave 1. Price retraced strongly. Okay, deeper correction. We have wave 2, it retraced a little bit, and we have wave 3 that's currently giving us a retracement. Let me delete that. So this one is simple as well. This is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So we are allowed to actually draw. I don't think that one. We are allowed to draw from lows to high. The starting point of wave 1 all the way to the high of wave 3. Okay, we are already at 37.5, which is something good. Okay, we've come above this structure. We did come above that one. We didn't. We didn't. We didn't. We nearly touched that one, but we didn't come above this one, which is good. But this one has already been violated, so that is a bullish signal. Looking for a momentum low. There's no momentum low here. The last momentum low is this one. Okay, so I'll note that one down. So we have a momentum high here, and we have a momentum high here. Momentum high to be bought. So this is actually a nice trade that we can buy it as soon as maybe 50%. If price come and start giving us a buy, you can wait for price to close back above the alligator lips. You look to buy. The buying is no longer, buying is the only option. Selling is no longer an option unless price probably come to 69.21 below there and a retracement. You can start looking to sell. So that is the analysis. You know, this is an analysis. We have our clarity now. Execution is a total different ball game. Execution is what we do during the trading. When the market opens, we pick our pairs. We know what we want to be doing, buying or selling on those pairs. And when we now want to buy or sell, we now apply all those skills that we've learned in terms of executing our trades. So my name is Shogun. I hope you enjoyed this session. It has been a longer than expected session, but that's fine. That's part of our preparation for the week commencing the 8th of August 2021. Like this video, follow me, share it, okay? Post your comments, ask me questions. I'm always available during the week as well to answer questions that you might have. Have a lovely trading week and stay blessed.